Hi everyone, today we are diving into a fascinating story that's packed with lessons on business strategy, cultural adaptation, and the importance of knowing your audience. Well, I'm talking about Kellogg's, the global cereal giant, and its roller coaster journey in India. As of 2024, the Indian breakfast market cereal is valued at approximately $4.7 billion. The market is expected to reach $9.8 billion by 2033, exhibiting a compound annual growth rate of 8.3% from 2025 to 2033. Kellogg's is an American multinational food manufacturing company. When they entered in early 1990s in India, they were already a powerhouse brand dominating the breakfast tables across the globe. To give you an idea how big they were when they just entered India, in 1943, net sales reached an impressive $61 million, contributing to net earnings of $3.1 million. In 1944, despite a slight dip in sales to $59 million, net earnings remained strong at $3 million, showcasing resilience. In 1945, sales surged to $68 million, boosting net earnings to $3.8 million, a clear sign of recovery and momentum. In 1947, a record-breaking year, with net sales achieving $89 million and net earnings soaring to $5.4 million, reflecting sustained growth and operational excellence. This consistent performance highlighted robust financial health, adaptability, and a strong foundation for future growth. Its flagship products such as Cornflakes, Rice Krispies, and Frosted Flakes were iconic and widely consumed globally. With their iconic tagline, "The Original and Best," and a reputation for delivering healthy, convenient breakfast, Kellogg's was confident that its success would translate seamlessly in one of the world's fastest-growing consumer markets, India. But what happened next? Well, let's just say things didn't go according to plan. Despite a grand launch and significant marketing investment, Kellogg's failed to connect with Indian consumers. Sales plummeted, criticism poured in, and the company faced the harsh reality that what worked globally wouldn't necessarily work locally. It seemed like Kellogg's had bitten off more than it could chew. So what went wrong? And more importantly, how Kellogg's managed to turn things around? Well, in today's video, we are unpacking the fall and rise of Kellogg's in India. We'll explore why Kellogg struggled in its initial years, the cultural, economic, and strategic missteps that led to its downfall, how the company reinvented its approach to finally win over Indian consumers. And by the end of this video, you will understand how one of the world's most successful brands learned to adapt, innovate, and bounce back stronger than ever in one of the toughest markets to crack. So let's jump into the incredible journey of Kellogg's, a tale of failure, resilience, and ultimate victory. Kellogg's entered the Indian market in 1994 by investing a total of $30 million, making its first foray into South Asia. The company saw India as a land of immense opportunity due to its large population, increasing urbanization, and a growing middle class that was slowly embracing Western lifestyles. So Kellogg's was very confident because of its three primary reasons: global success, shifting Indian lifestyles, and its brand strength. Let's see. Global success, since they were the market leader in ready-to-eat cereals globally, dominating the breakfast segment in Western countries. Second, shifting Indian lifestyles. The growing number of nuclear families and working women in India indicated a shift towards quicker meal options. And third, brand strength. Kellogg's believed its global reputation would automatically translate to trust and acceptance in India. So Kellogg's entered India with a massive marketing campaign, aiming to make a big splash in the market. The company invested heavily in marketing and brand building right from the start. First, product lineup. They introduced the globally successful products like Cornflakes, Wheat Flakes, and Frosties, banking on their reputation as nutritious and convenient breakfast options. Second, pricing. They positioned their products as a premium products, targeting urban families who could afford and appreciate Western products. Third, marketing blitz. Kellogg's launched with a multi-channel advertising campaign featuring TV commercials showcasing the health benefits of cereals, newspaper ads targeting urban households, and store promotions and eye-catching displays in supermarkets. Well, Kellogg's ensured that the products were widely available in urban areas through their robust distribution network, and so they focused on supermarkets and retail stores to cater to the emerging modern retail sector. Metropolitan cities. The focus was on Tier 1 cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bengaluru, and Chennai, where consumers were more likely to adopt Western products. Kellogg's partnered with Indian retailers and distributors to ensure high visibility for their products. They also worked with schools and healthcare professionals to position their cereals as a healthy, kid-friendly breakfast option. Kellogg's was all set and confident about revolutionizing the Indian breakfast market. However, within few years, Kellogg's found itself at a crossroads. Sales were disappointing, consumer trust was eroding, and the brand faced an uphill battle to remain relevant in the Indian market. But the question is why? Why did Kellogg's fail in India despite such huge investment and grand launch? Let's break down. Number 1, cultural misfit. A breakfast revolution nobody wanted. The first and most glaring mistake that Kellogg's made was failing to understand the Indian food culture. For generations, Indians had started their day with hearty, hot, and often savory breakfast. Think parathas, idlis, dosas, poha, and upma. Kellogg's introduced cold cereals meant to be eaten with milk. However, the texture and taste which worked well in Western markets didn't sit well with Indian palates. Indians, they consumed crispy flakes with lukewarm milk, which made the cereal soggy and unappealing. If they tried it with cold milk, the added sugar would not dissolve easily. Cornflakes felt bland compared to the flavorful and spicy breakfast Indians were used to. This might seem like a small detail, but it actually played a significant role in Kellogg's early struggles in India. Indian milk typically has a higher fat content compared to the skimmed or semi-skimmed milk commonly used in Western countries. And when combined with Kellogg's cornflakes, the higher fat content resulted in a thicker, creamier texture that caused the cereal to become soggy more quickly. Kellogg's had underestimated the deep emotional connection that Indians had with their traditional meals. Breakfast in India wasn't just food, it was a ritual, often cooked fresh and enjoyed with family. Second, marketing missteps. A health-centric approach that clashed with India's rich culinary traditions. Kellogg's promoted its cereals as healthy, nutritious, and convenient breakfast alternative that just felt out of sync during 1994. Kellogg's positioned itself as a replacement for traditional Indian breakfast. Indian consumers were not accustomed to viewing breakfast as a health-oriented meal but as a wholesome and indulgent one. This approach aligned with Kellogg's success in Western markets where health-conscious eating was gaining importance but not in India. The emphasis on health positioned Kellogg's products as bland and less enjoyable compared to traditional Indian breakfast, which are flavorful and often paired with chutneys or spices. Many Indian breakfasts such as poha, upma, and idlis are naturally nutritious and fiber-rich. Consumers didn't see Kellogg's cereals as a superior health alternative, especially due to their high cost. Third, premium pricing in a price-sensitive market. Kellogg's assumed Indian consumers would pay premium price for the quality products. To maintain high quality, the company targeted premium and middle-level retail stores, neglecting the mass consumer market. Let's take a look at India's retail landscape in the 1990s, traditional versus modern trade. So around 95% of FMCG sales in 1990s were through kirana stores and wet markets. Local brands and unbranded items dominated at that time, offering price points that matched the budgets of middle and lower income households. On the other side, in 1990s, modern trade was still in its infancy in India and was restricted to few urban centers like Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. This distribution strategy excluded a significant portion of the population, especially those in rural and semi-urban areas where the majority of India's population resides. According to the 1991 census of India, approximately 74.3% of India's total population lived in rural areas and 25.7% of the population lived in urban areas. Hence, this strategy alienated such a large segment of price-sensitive customers. Even when we compare the price of 100 grams of Kellogg's cornflakes with its competitors, Mohan's Cornflakes and Champion Cornflakes, Kellogg's came out to be more expensive in 1990s. For example, the average cost of Kellogg's cereals was approximately 21 rupees per 100 grams, whereas Mohan Cornflakes was priced around 6 rupees per 100 grams and Champion Cornflakes the cost about 10 rupees per 100 grams. Clearly, Kellogg's 100 gram of packet was 3.5 times more expensive than Mohan's Cornflakes and 2 times more expensive than Champion Cornflakes. Not just this, even a box of Kellogg's cornflakes was significantly more expensive than traditional breakfast staples like rice, lentils, or wheat flour. To illustrate the price disparity during the 1990s, let's take an example using approximate pricing from that era. Imagine walking into a grocery store during that era. A 300 grams box of Kellogg's cornflakes sat on the shelf with a price tag of 60 rupees. For the same amount, you could buy nearly a kilogram of rice for 15 rupees, a kilogram of lentils for 20 rupees, or even a kilogram of wheat flour for just 12 rupees. enough to prepare multiple wholesome meals. For many middle-class households, spending that much on a single breakfast item was almost unthinkable. After all, traditional breakfasts like idlis, dosas, poha or parathas made from these basic staples were not only affordable but also deeply rooted in cultural preferences and family routines. All this led to collapse of Kellogg's in India within just few years of its launch. Kellogg's actually entered India with the assumption that its global brand reputation would be enough to win over Indian consumers. However, Indian consumers were not easily swayed by foreign brands. Kellogg's failed to recognize that establishing trust and relevance in a new market takes more than a well-known name. Without addressing local preferences, even a powerhouse brand like Kellogg's struggled to build loyalty. They had no option but to acknowledge the harsh realities of the Indian breakfast market, and soon Kellogg's decided to double down and fix their mistakes. So they started with understanding the Indian breakfast habits. To make a comeback, Kellogg's conducted an extensive market research to understand what Indians actually wanted for breakfast. They discovered hot breakfasts like idlis, dosas and parathas were deeply ingrained in Indian culture. Indians preferred strong, flavorful taste over bland or overly sweet options. Price sensitivity was a major factor. People wanted value for money. Family-oriented breakfast traditions played a significant role in meal choices. With these insights, Kellogg's realized they couldn't change Indian habits, but they had to adapt the products to complement them. So they started making few changes. Number 1, localization for success, that is bringing Indian flavors to the table. Kellogg's made a bold move to localize its offerings and introduce products that appeal to Indian taste buds. They diversified their portfolio to include flavors and products tailored to the market. Kellogg's introduced variants like Kesar Pista Badam, Rose Badam and Thandai Badam to cater to Indian palates. They introduced a chocolate-flavored cereal aimed at kids, which quickly became a household favorite. Kellogg's introduced instant oatmeal and multigrain hot cereals to align with Indian consumers. Number 2, affordable packs for wider reach. One of the biggest barriers to Kellogg's initial success was its premium pricing. To address this, the company introduced smaller, more affordable packs, making their products accessible to middle-income households. Number 3, cultural connection through marketing. Kellogg's completely overhauled its marketing strategy to focus on emotional and cultural relevance. With products like Chocos, Kellogg's targeted children directly. They created engaging TV ads featuring cartoon characters and fun jingles to make the product more appealing. Kellogg's collaborated with Bollywood celebrities and sports stars to build trust and increase brand visibility. Number 4, they strengthened the supply chain, thus reaching every corner. Kellogg's strengthened its distribution network to ensure its products were available in both urban and semi-urban areas. They partnered with Kirana stores to reach a wider audience. They expanded into online grocery platforms as e-commerce began to grow in India. This omni-channel approach ensured that Kellogg's products were easy to find, regardless of where consumers shopped. Number 5, educating consumers, thus building awareness and trust. One of the Kellogg's most impactful moves was investing in consumer education. They realized that many Indians didn't fully understand how to use cereals or their health benefits. To educate, Kellogg's conducted awareness campaigns through schools and healthcare professionals to promote Kellogg's as a nutritious option for children. They even launched tutorials and recipes to show how cereals could be incorporated into Indian meals, like using cornflakes as a topping for desserts or snacks. At the top, they highlighted the flexibility of their products. For example, cornflakes could be eaten with cold milk, hot milk, or even yogurt. Number 6, innovation for a diverse audience. To solidify their presence, Kellogg's continued to innovate and introduce new product lines. For example, granola bars, targeting health-conscious millennials and on-the-go consumers. Muesli and multigrain cereals, catering to fitness enthusiasts. Oats, tapping into the growing trend of healthy, fiber-rich breakfast. This diversification allowed Kellogg's to serve different demographics and remain competitive. And then there was a remarkable turnaround. By late 2000s, Kellogg's was back on track. Their efforts paid off. Sales grew steadily and the brand became a staple in urban households. The company reported a revenue of 1,352 crores and a net profit of 103 crores in India for FY22. As of December 2023, Kellogg's held a dominant position in India's breakfast cereal market, commanding a 75% market share. Chocos became one of the most popular breakfast cereals for children. Company's household penetration is at 40 to 50 million and it sells about 1 million packs of Chocos a day. Kellogg's was no longer seen as a foreign brand trying to force its way in. It was embraced as a trusted name in Indian kitchens. At the end, what are the key lessons to be learned from Kellogg's journey? Number 1, understand local culture. Entering a new market requires a deep understanding of cultural nuances, consumer preferences, and eating habits. A one-size-fits-all global strategy often doesn't work in diverse and complex markets like India. Here in this case, Kellogg's eventually realized and introduced localized flavors such as Kesar Pista Badam, Rose Badam and Thandai Badam, which catered to the Indian palate and integrated into existing culinary tradition. Number 2, price sensitivity matters. Premium pricing limits reach in markets where majority of the consumers are price sensitive, and thus offering affordable products is essential to achieve scale in such markets. Here in this case, Kellogg's later introduced smaller, more affordable packs to appeal to middle-income families, allowing consumers to try their products without a significant financial commitment. Number 3, holistic marketing. Positioning must resonate emotionally and practically with consumers. Here in this case, Kellogg's launched campaigns emphasizing how their products could complement traditional breakfast. They highlighted versatile use cases for cereals such as cornflakes as a topping for Indian desserts or snacks, making the product more relatable and practical. They collaborated with Bollywood celebrities, sports icons, and introduction of fun and child-focused advertisements that help build emotional connections. And that's the story of Kellogg's, a brand that stumbled, learned, and rose again. Thanks for watching, and remember, every story has lessons waiting to be discovered. See you in the next story. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Bye-bye.